Hello, I'm here tonight at the Winter Gardens in Eastbourne and for the second of what I've called my community conversations. So this is where I go out to the public with the Chief Constable and the local divisional commander, and tonight it's Neil Honour, who's Chief Superintendent for East Sussex, and we sit in front of the public and they ask us questions around policing and crime in their area. Tonight's panel is going to be chaired by the local editor of the Herald newspapers, that's Keith Ridley, and we're also joined by Christina Eubank, who is the head of the local Chamber of Commerce. Here's the panel, and on my right is Christina Eubank, who heads up the local Chamber of Commerce. I have Keith Ridley here, who's chairing tonight's meeting. He's the editor of the Herald. And I have Chief Constable Giles York, and at the end there, Chief Superintendent Neil Honour, who is the divisional commander. So Keith, you're responsible for titles across East Sussex, so why is tonight important to you?
Well, it's important because, as you all know, Katie, we have a tremendous influence, I think, on local communities. The important thing is that we reflect what our readers are saying, and so often people will ask questions of us or make complaints in letters to us, which we publish. And here's an opportunity, I hope, for those people to come out from behind those walls, and actually great opportunity to talk to the people who do police the county.
Great. So where have you got questions in from?
Well, we've been seeking them across the patch that I'm responsible for, which tonight we're in Eastbourne, of course, which is the heart of the patch. But of course, just as big a heart beating over there in the Hastings area. So we've had questions from Hastings, from Bexhill, Rye, Battle, Winchelsea, and to the west, the Sussex Express series, of course. And I'm responsible for the papers in Uckfield, in Newhaven, Lewes, and in Hailsham and Seaford. So a wide range of, we've got a readership across the whole of East Sussex. So hopefully, not only have the questions come in, but we'll have representatives from across that region in the audience tonight.
Giles, why is tonight important for Sussex Police and for you in particular?
What's really key for us in Sussex Police is we have a huge breadth of demands on us. We have many challenges at a national, regional and local levels, and that's why it's really important for us to be able to hear firsthand from the communities what their concerns are. And either check, yes, we're addressing them, we're doing the right things that they want us to do, but also to be able to say, actually, we need to shift the type of policing that we're delivering so that we meet their needs as best as we can.
Great, and now to Neil, who's going to get all the tasks and actions from tonight, no doubt, passed down from the Chief Constable. Neil, you're the Divisional Commander for East Sussex. You've been in post how long?
Well, I've been in post for just over 2 years, so I'm responsible for policing across East Sussex. We have an enormous amount of activity that goes on a day-to-day basis, engaging with the community through our neighbourhood policing teams and our neighbourhood policing officers. But these kind of events give us a real opportunity for us as the senior leaders of the division to speak to people directly in a nice setting to understand what's important to them, and also explain to the public about what's important from a national perspective and a regional perspective as well, and just explain across the piece what we're doing in policing today.
And I was just thinking, Giles, you've been Chief Constable now this year, and in your memory from Sussex Police, have they ever done a public meeting like this before?
There have been various guises of public meeting, and there were a requirement at one time after the Scarman review of the Brixton riots we would do public meetings where we would come out and discuss what our priorities were. What often happened there, it led to dissatisfaction on both sides, because we'd talk about graphs and crime figures and national issues, and the public would talk about local issues, and both of us would leave rather confused and upset. And so this is why this is much better, because it's about a dialogue, a conversation chaired by an independent person to put the challenges across to us.
Christina, hi.
Okay.
You head up Chamber of Commerce locally here.
I'm the Chief Executive responsible for the day-to-day. There is also a President of the Chamber of Commerce, and they change every 1 to 2 years.
So are you going to raise some issues around business crime and that tonight?
Yeah, I think so. There's a few things we should talk about.
And what kind of springs to mind as a sort of key issue or two?
A key issue for retailers in the town centre is street drinkers and rough sleepers and beggars. So we need to work out what to do to best help those people to get off the streets.
Sure. Well, I'm absolutely delighted you're here tonight. Thank you. You add a nice flavour to the evening.
Thank you.
And we're both really looking forward to it.
Eastbourne is a busy and expanding 24/7 seaside town, but I've not seen a uniformed police officer walking the street for a very long time. Does the Sussex PCC and local MP consider the town is policed efficiently and effectively.
What makes you actually feel safe? Is it seeing a police officer wandering up and down outside your window? Or is it knowing that if you need them, they will come immediately when you need people? What actually makes you feel safe? Because crime is changing, and the nature of policing needs to change with it. A lot of crime that happens now, you don't see. It happens online. So good old-fashioned fraud and theft is moving online. Do you need a police officer patrolling in order to handle that? Will that make you feel any safer if you're a victim of theft or fraud online?
There's always a balance of police my community, but don't police me. Don't police my driveway. And so I think that there's this sense of how do we give a reassuring presence? And one of the things that I'm trying to challenge is how do we move across just seeing somebody in the street is reassuring to us. Any one of you could come out on foot patrol with me now, and we could walk around the streets of Eastbourne, and we'd even around some of the housing estates in Eastbourne, but I'll bet you 95% of the houses have their curtains shut and nobody will see us go by, unless we go and knock on each door in turn saying, just to let you know we're here, just to let you know we're walking past. And so it's a bit of a odd science to put across to it. One of the questions that was put to me by Wealdon District Council the other day was in 1996, Crowborough Police Station had 26 PCs in it, 5 sergeants, 3 inspectors and a chief inspector. And today it's got 8 PCs and 2 PCs. What's happened to all the police officers that used to police Crowborough? And I'd come back and say, we've professionalised. We've got a lot better at the things that we do. And crime has changed. We no longer get telephone boxes kicked in or graffiti on rolls to the extent that we used to, because the children who used to do that now vent their anger on the PlayStation. It's been replaced with gangs of people around child sexual exploitation and exploiting young teenagers for sexual gain. Those are not investigated by PCSOs, they're not investigated by the PC, the visible neighbourhood policing that is in place. They are investigated by specialists and experts. And I just need to somehow describe the policing of Crowborough, because that was the example that was given to me, is not just down to the 8 uniforms that you see. Sitting behind them are specialist investigators looking at online fraud, online pornography, online exploitation of children, being able to respond to very serious and major crimes in the area, such as should ever a murder, serious assault, serious sexual assault ever happen.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the evening. I certainly have. It's been busy, lots of questions from the public. If you'd like to join us at our next community conversation, we'll be travelling over to the west of the county. Check out my website for details in the new year. In the meantime, I'd like to sign off. I'm in front of a lovely Christmas tree. Wish everybody watching a very happy Christmas, and also spare a thought for police officers and staff who'll be out over the Christmas period keeping us all safe. Thanks, and see you next time.